From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at Noon, streaming now.
And thanks for joining us here on this Friday. I'm Lauren Casey. Todd Clausen is standing by from home this midday with a check of our forecast as we're looking ahead to the weekend. Todd, it has been a quiet week in the weather department.
It sure has, Lauren. There's been really no change since Monday. We've been locked in with the clouds. We haven't really seen much of anything in the way of precipitation, and temperatures haven't moved. Well, we're finally going to start to change things as we head into the weekend, as we get the sunshine back. Now, unfortunately, this afternoon, it is chilly. I was just outside to record the web video, Lauren, and it is very, very uncomfortable out there. Not so much because of the temperatures, but there's no sunshine, and we have a pretty good breeze that is out there. So temperatures are in the 30s right now, but it feels like it's in the 20s. In fact, it feels like it's in the teens right now in Richmond. 22 is what it feels like in Greenfield. 23 is what it feels like in Indy. So you definitely need to bundle up if you're going to be out and about. Here's a live look in Bloomington, and you can see the solid band of cloud cover that is in place. I'm hopeful that these clouds will start to thin just a little bit as we start to work our way into the afternoon hours, and you can see a few areas starting to clear out just a little bit. It would be a gradual process, but the best chance of the clearing skies is really going to be as we get into the day tomorrow. So this afternoon, just bundle up. Temperatures won't move up any further on the thermometer. We're stuck with where we're at right now, but you will have quiet weather for any Friday evening plans. More on that weekend forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Well, more than 8,500 Hoosiers have now died with COVID-19 since this pandemic began. Just moments ago, the state health department reported 69 additional deaths. That is, new cases also remain high today with almost 6,200 reported. That is the third consecutive day the state has been above the 6,000 mark for new COVID-19 cases. And new this midday, you'll soon be able to go see the Pacers in person for the first time in almost a year. Today, the Pacers announcing they would begin selling a limited number of tickets, starting with the January 24th game at home against the Toronto Raptors. The Pacers say they will initially allow a maximum of 1,000 fans at Bankers Life Fieldhouse, and they plan to gradually increase that number based on guidance from the Marion County Health Department. Fans going to see games will be required to wear masks unless they are actively eating or drinking, and they'll be subject to health screenings before they're allowed inside. There will be pod seating. That means fans will be seated in groups away from others, not in their parties, and all fans must sit only in their assigned seats. Bankers Life Fieldhouse is also now a cashless facility, since no cash will be taken at the box office or concession stands. Tickets will go on sale January 19th. Today, more Hoosiers are eligible to get that first dose of the coronavirus vaccine. It appears a lot of people are interested. Starting today, people 80 and older can make an appointment to get their shot. But the state health department tells us that high demand on the online registration portal caused the website to slow down for a brief time today. We spoke with a senior couple who have been eagerly awaiting this day. They still led an active lifestyle before this pandemic curtailed it. And Paul Flack tells us that he is now eligible for the vaccine, and it means there's a light at the end of this tunnel.
We're ready.
Yeah, I feel safe with it. I think that they've proven that it's going to help millions of us. It's affected our family because we have to take precautions when they've been around somebody with COVID. So we're not seeing them as often.
Well, to get the vaccine, if you're 80 or older, you can call 211 from your phone. You can also go online at shot.in.gov to make an appointment. Again, the health department says you may have to travel or try rather several times, and they've experienced some slowdowns due to the high amount of traffic online today. If you live in Fishers, you can also sign up to get a vaccine starting today. The Fishers Health Department says it's prepared to give out the vaccine to those 80 and older. Fishers residents, listen up. You can now go online and you'll complete a vaccine interest form. Those who qualify will then be notified when scheduling in your area becomes available. We have more information on how to fill out the vaccine interest form. It's up right now at WRTV.com and the WRTV News app. New this midday, President Trump says he will not attend the inauguration of Joe Biden on January 20th. The president posted that announcement to Twitter this morning. The announcement comes as Democrats are talking about another effort to impeach the president following Wednesday's violence at the Capitol carried out by pro-Trump rioters. riots. Trump's tweets came one day after he posted a video admitting for the first time that a new administration would be sworn in on January 20th. The president did not use Biden's name in that particular video. And moments ago, we heard from Democrat and former Indiana Senator Joe Donnelly. He's asking Vice President Mike Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment to remove President Trump from office. He tells WRTV that he's not surprised that the president will not attend the inauguration.
You know, that's the first time I can ever remember in history where the outgoing president did not attend. It's not a surprise to me at all. And I think that I think we'll see the Vice President Pence there. And I think that's in keeping with who Vice President Pence is. And I didn't expect at any time that President Trump would be there because I think that's in keeping with who he is.
We'll hear more from Senator Donnelly, former Senator Donnelly, and his conversation with our Rafael Sanchez coming up tonight on the news at 5 and 6 o'clock. And the fallout continues from Wednesday's riot at the Capitol and the false allegations of widespread voter fraud that brought protesters out to Capitol Hill. It also led to the death of a Capitol police officer who was fighting against the siege. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has more now from Washington.
Capitol Police say Officer Brian Sicknick was injured while engaging with the violent protesters who stormed the halls of Congress. The agency releasing a statement saying the entire department expresses its deepest sympathies to Officer Sicknick's family and friends on their loss. Sicknick's death is being investigated as a homicide. Meanwhile, law enforcement is poring over hours of video and photos as they seek to find and charge those in the lawless mob. Potential charges could include rioting, assaulting police officers, weapons possession, and unlawful entry. The FBI also investigating whether sensitive national security information may have been stolen from ransacked congressional offices. The House and Senate Sergeant-at-Arms have resigned under pressure, and the Capitol Police Chief Stephen Sund says he will also resign next Saturday. After a day of public silence, President Trump delivered a recorded, scripted statement condemning the angry mob who responded to his call to march on the Capitol.
Like all Americans, I am outraged by the violence, lawlessness, and mayhem.
But just 24 hours earlier, he showered praise on the anti-American actions of that same group.
We love you. You're very special.
The unlawful rampage by Trump supporters Wednesday may have been the final straw for some members of his own administration and in Congress. 62 Democrats in the House have signed a letter to Speaker Pelosi calling for an immediate vote to impeach Donald Trump again.
This is urgent. This is emergency of the highest magnitude.
But it's not just Democrats. Nebraska Republican Senator Ben Sasse telling CBS he will consider articles of impeachment.
I believe the president has disregarded his oath of office.
And if there is a second impeachment in the House, a conviction in the Senate is very unlikely. But if that were to happen, it could result in Trump never being able to run for office again. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, Washington.
Well, there's still a lot of unanswered questions for one member of Congress from Indiana. Next, he weighs in on the riots and what he says was the underlying cause of the violence. Todd.
And Lauren, we just missed out on a big storm system to our south, and it's now to the east. But that storm system finally going to unlock the weather pattern a little bit and allow some sunshine to return for the weekend. We'll talk all about it coming up when the news at noon continues right here on WRTV.
ABC's General Hospital.
Welcome back. So there's a chance a House could vote on the impeachment vote next week, even though time is running out on the Trump administration. Indiana Congressman Andre Carson supports holding another impeachment vote. He also spoke to WRTV about other concerns that still linger from Wednesday's unrest at the Capitol.
Certainly something was amiss, and there was an embarrassing degree of unreadiness. But that's not unusual. You know, I was met with some criticism a couple of years ago when I spoke to the lack of capacity that is there as it relates to Capitol Police and the Sergeant-at-Arms. When I'm in Indianapolis, many times I'm with the Sheriff's Department, the Metro Police Department, or the Constable's Office providing security. Because, you know, unlike Speaker Pelosi and those in the leadership team, they have a detail, but the rest of us who are members of Congress who get death threats regularly, we have to work with local law enforcement. And I did that after seeking advice from the FBI. But I think this is also about a president who has inflamed his base. And unfortunately, you have empathizers and sympathizers within the ranks of law enforcement. This narrative or lie about a stolen election, that's what happens when you see the culmination of the chaos that Trump has unleashed and even inflamed, and the failure, unfortunately, of a lot of my colleagues to push back on his behavior. We're seeing this boldness now, 2 weeks before he leaves office. We're seeing him being banned from social media platforms, the very platforms that contributed to his rise, the very platforms that helped to communicate with his base of supporters to launch attacks on people. And so now we're seeing this convenient boldness. We're seeing this convenient slew of resignations coming from folks in the administration. It's great, but it's too little too late.
That was Representative Andre Carson there. Well, the Colts have their eye on a playoff win, but they'll have to get by a team that's in the postseason for the first time in a long time. So coming up, our Brad Brown will preview tomorrow's wild card showdown. Let's take a live look outside right now here from our tower camera, looking over Lucas Oil Stadium. You can see another cloudy Friday, but we'll look ahead to your weekend and see if we can get any sunshine in the forecast. It's all coming up here on the News at Noon. Stick around.
Floors to your home, that too.
Welcome back. The number of reported bullying incidents are down in Indiana schools, but one state lawmaker says those numbers can be deceiving and more needs to be done to protect our students. By law, private schools do not have to report bullying numbers to the State Department of Education. Representative Greg Porter says that needs to change. The Democrat from Indianapolis has filed a bill that would require charter schools and private schools to adopt anti-bullying policies if they accept funding from the state. The bill comes as statewide numbers show the number of bullying incidents reported by schools is dropping.
It's just simple, and I don't understand, Karen, why it's so hard for them to digest that you're receiving the money, you want the dollars, you just adhere to the rules that everyone else.
Well, the schools are supposed to report physical, verbal, social, and electronic bullying. Schools will submit their data from the school year at the end of June. The state will publish the new bullying numbers this August. Porter's bill would also require schools who are accepting choice scholarships to adopt discipline rules that prohibit bullying. Right now, we want to take a turn to our forecast on this Friday. Todd, people are gearing up for the weekend, and it has been a cloudy week here across the Circle City.
Yeah, it really has. You have to go all the way back to Monday to find any prolonged periods of sunshine, Lauren, and we'll finally get back into that as we get into the weekend. So that'll, I think, help everybody's spirits up. I've had a lot of people tell me this week, especially yesterday, I just want to see the sunshine again, and we will get there starting tomorrow. Outside right now, we're still dealing with the clouds. Here's the view from IMS looking back towards downtown Indianapolis, and you can see the clouds are in place. Visibility not an issue, and we have no moisture out there, so it's just clouds, and that's it. So if you are going to be out and about, you just need to bundle up a little bit. Here are your current temperatures. 28 in Kokomo, 32 in Indy, 33 is the current temperature in Shelbyville. There's not a strong wind out there, but it's out of the east-northeast, and that is a chilly wind direction for us, and that's putting real field temperatures down in the 20s for most of us. In fact, it feels like it's right at 20 degrees in Columbus. 23 is what it feels like in Indy right now, and 22 in Muncie. So that's why you definitely probably need the hat and gloves if you're going to be out and about for a walk or any prolonged period outside. Actual high temperatures are probably just going to go up another degree or two from where they are right now. So that's going to keep our wind chill values in the 20s throughout the remainder of the afternoon and into the evening hours. Satellite pictures showing a little bit of clear skies here off to the west. I just checked the camera in Greencastle, still cloudy there. But a couple of you are seeing a little bit of sunshine, and we have several things going on. There's a bigger storm system that is down to our east, and off to our east rather, and down to our south. And there was some snow in Seymour earlier this morning. That has now moved off to the east, or basically fallen apart. But this area of low pressure here, this is eventually going to start to make its way off the Atlantic coast. And as it does, it's going to kind of free up the weather pattern to start moving again from west to east across the area. And that's going to help us out to get some of that sunshine back into the forecast. Now, I do think it's going to be a bit of a gradual process for us. Tomorrow morning, I still think you wake up to cloud cover, and then it becomes partly sunny. On Sunday, skies should be partly cloudy throughout the entire day. But as far as the specifics go for tomorrow, here's the breakdown for you hour by hour. Mid-20s to start. It's a cold, cold start to our day with mostly cloudy skies. Then the sun comes out, even with the sunshine, and skies going mostly sunny by 4 p.m. We're looking at a temperature that's only going to be right around 33 to 34 degrees for your afternoon high. Sunday's slightly warmer at 36, and then we'll slowly creep back up, Lauren, into the 40s with sunshine as we work our way back into Wednesday and Thursday. We briefly get to 46 on Thursday, but then there's some indications Thursday afternoon or evening, and then eventually into next weekend, there could be a pretty good push of Arctic air that heads our way. And as that comes in, some rain and or snow showers. So that's a little ways off, but something to point out. Until then, enjoy the sunshine returning with temperatures in the 30s for the foreseeable future.
All right, Todd, looks good. Thank you so much. So the Colts are running into the playoffs. Tomorrow's wild card game in Buffalo could be a high-scoring afternoon. The Bills scored 56 points last weekend, but the Colts got a record performance by one of their rookies. Rod Brown shows us how he could be a big factor, on Saturday.
It was a season that seemed to see Jonathan Taylor get a little bit better every week, and then a lot better in the regular season finale. A team record 253 rushing yards and helping the Colts get into the AFC playoffs. He ran for 651 yards over the final 5 games. So what's in store for the postseason? I had a chance to talk with ESPN NFL analyst and former Colts quarterback Matt Hasselbeck this week.
Jonathan Taylor's been so good this last month of the season. And kind of watching the film on him, what stands out?
Yeah, he's impressive every single way. I mean, he's big, strong, fast, great kid, hard worker, runs a 4.39 40, 226 pounds. I mean, he's hard to tackle. That's if you wanted to tackle him. And I don't think he's the kind of guy you want to tackle. But, you know, here's a guy that has everything you're looking for in a running back. And he's in his rookie year, just starting to come together. And I think he's just starting to come together at the right time for Colts fans. So, you know, I think that Jonathan Taylor, I don't even know what the question is, but Jonathan Taylor needs to be the answer, you know, going into every game.
The Colts play at 1 o'clock tomorrow, the first of 6 wild card games this weekend. Sunday at 1, we've got the Ravens and Titans right here on WRTV. I'll have more with Matt coming up tonight on the news at 6. Brad Brown, WRTV Sports.
Brad, thank you. Well, if you're a Baywatch fan or just a fan of its main star, you might want to get your wallet out and jump online soon. We'll show you some incredible and in some cases bizarre things he's auctioning off right now. You're watching WRTV News at Noon. We'll be right back.
Your brain, better life.
Well, the bidding has already started, but you still have time to try and win some memorabilia owned by a somewhat legendary David Hasselhoff. The star of Baywatch and Knight Rider is auctioning off a ton of things that he's amassed over the years. They include his own version of the kit car used in Knight Rider. That's going to cost you at least $500,000 as of now. You can also bid on a lunch date with Dave. That bid is only at $8,500 right now. Or maybe you'd like this bizarre 14-foot replica of Hasselhoff himself. This was used in SpongeBob the movie, and the price on it right now is $100,000. Online bidding for all of this fine merch continues through January 23rd. Todd, I think I'll save my money. I don't need any of those strange things.
You don't want to go to lunch. I hear you're eating hamburgers.
I think he has more money, so he should pay for me to go to lunch with him. Why would I pay that much?
I agree. You might not remember the hamburger reference that I just made. I'll have to explain it to you.
Send it to me,
after
Todd.
The show. All right. I know producer Ray knows what I'm talking about. Here's your 7-day forecast. The sunshine returns tomorrow. And once we get the sunshine back, we'll keep it around all the way into next week. High temperatures, though, stay in the 30s.
All right, Todd, thank you. And thank you for joining us and making WRTV your choice for news. We hope you have a great weekend.